I'm Dolores Clementine from the Peasky Channel. And you're watching Disney Channel.
Nickelodeon and Disney Channel? Gnarly, dude. 1 minute you'll watch a kid get absolutely waterboarded by a toilet, then witness some kid have an emotional meltdown as he prances around a golf course in complete outrage. Disney and Nickelodeon have been the staple to kids' television, spanning all the way back to the 70s and 80s. During those ancient times, Timothy here was really thinking, wow, TV couldn't get much better than this. After binge watching The Adventures of the Gummy Bears for the 100th time on a Saturday morning in 1985. And Tim, can I call you Tim? Can I just say it does in fact get worse than this, pal. It really does. Hey, Agnes, oh my God, get the gun. We got a wild one here, boy. Other than the nightmare-inducing show Animorphs, I really do believe that nothing can quite compete with saying that throughout the early 2000s, we were truly gifted with what I think to be the golden age of kids television.
What's up?
Shows like Lizzie McGuire, Drake and Josh, Wizards of Waverly Place, and iCarly really made our childhoods amazing. Both of these networks were truly at their A game throughout this period of time. And this is what today's video is about, my double chunk chocolate cookies. The golden age of kids television. Kids television from the 2000s? I was unfortunately a free-to-air kid back in the day. I know, I'm sorry, 1,000 lashings for me. I wasn't allowed to be a part of the cool kid club called Foxtel because my poopy butt brain couldn't really comprehend the fact that Foxtel actually costs extra money. I know, I'm an idiot, another 1,000 lashings for me. That being said, my only true exposure to Disney Channel and Nickelodeon was either watching it at my auntie's place, because she was the cool auntie that had Foxtel, watching Saturday Disney first thing on a Saturday morning, or if I was confident enough, renting through my local library. Oh my God. This place was honestly a battle zone for renting DVDs. Any kid would understand that there was a 75% chance any DVD you decided to borrow would honestly probably skip a third of the film, due to some kids taking out Nickelodeon's DVD SpongeBob SquarePants Nautical Nonsense and Sponge Buddies 10 seaworthy stories out for some extracurricular activities on the pavement. There was something charming that made me always want to revisit these two channels. Hey, Banzai. Because whenever I had the chance to actually watch Wizards of Waverly Place on Saturday Disney, I was there, bro. I was front row. Hearing that iconic bop, was like hearing Camp Rock's play my music for the very first time. An out-of-body experience. The network would go on to use that jingle all throughout their channel. Pair it up with a moist, creamy mouse logo and boom, you've got a successful channel, baby. As the years went on, they got creative with spicing the tune up and the design of the logo, and throwing down some real whack designs. It made you think they were overdosing on some expired Skittles. It was truly beautiful. From 2004, we were gifted with Disney's Wand IDs that would feature everyone that was currently doing a series at the time. They would stand there and wave their wand around and act all edgy in the process. They have done this every year, starting with Hilary Duff back in 2004, all the way up to David Herner just from last year. Everyone did it. The Rock did it. Jenna Ortega did it. Miley Cyrus did it. The dog from a blog tried to do it. The baby from Good Luck Charlie didn't even attempt to do it. And the Jonas Brothers over here have done it 17 times. You poor souls. It was a fun little quirky thing that us wand enthusiasts did really enjoy. If you really broke the science down on these wand IDs, you'd understand that there was no attempt to draw a mouse head and 2 ears. Some did it really good, but if you were Raven, you'd just rather do 5 sets of Yoinky Splunky and call it a day. Nickelodeon, on the other hand, though, had the lads pipe up, throwing down some mad a cappella skills through your TV speakers. You knew you were in for a good night when you heard those soothing a cappella lads pipe up, and you knew you were going to see Jimmy Neutron give off the hardest brain blast he's ever done. The one thing you'll immediately associate with this network is that jingle. It's everywhere, and it was incredibly popular throughout the 90s. It would go on to be the running jingle that would now be forever ingrained into every kid's mind due to some of their catchy nicks. Along with that iconic logo that Nickelodeon was so kind to design, made some banging bumpers. This sort of thing was very popular. MTV decided to give it a crack, and now I have nightmares. Nowadays, it's just commonly a dead ass orange logo sitting on a white background. Boring! Back in my day, you little we had some colourful designs. But I must digress. The 80s and 90s had it better. I know, I'm a fraud. But come on, they had it good. When this kid started to draw some random fonts, you knew where you were at. Nickelodeon, baby. Or when this group of jellybeans start flying with a Spanish mob boss leader that lifts up a banner, boom, Nickelodeon.
Nick, 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 Nick.
How did I get in this AA meeting? Because it's Nickelodeon. Oh. As the bumpers progressed into the 2000s, they started to implement the shows like Disney did. My favourite is when this bumper lad hit puberty and was simply too cool for school.
You're watching Nickelodeon, but you already knew that. Now back to the show.
Oh my god, what about the shows though?
Disney Channel and Nickelodeon were known for their kids' sitcom shows. In the early 2000s, shows like Drake and Josh and Even Stevens really catapulted a new generational push for better and more entertaining kids' TV shows. They were no longer dull and weird. They were actually genuinely quite funny and worth watching. Yeah, I'm referring to you Animorphs. Oh my god, Agnes, oh my god. Where's my gun, Agnes? Where's my gun? The shows throughout this period of time were stellar. They produced some great content and some great songs too. Are you trying to tell me that Worldwide isn't a banger? Both programs were kings in this category, and that is no lie. Both networks were structured in the same way when it came to their sitcom shows. You would find that these shows would be set in school, follow the characters trying to navigate through home life and school life, growing up and making mistakes and learning along the way, because that seems to be the most relevant thing for a kid. Nickelodeon and Disney seem to have found their secret sauce that they were looking for with the success of Drake and Josh and Even Stevens. And that did not stop them from creating absolute dingers all the way up to the 2010s. After that, it gets a little weird. Agnes the Gun! Nickelodeon has shows like Unfabulous, Zoe 101, Just Jordan, which was just shit, Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, iCarly, True Jackson VP, Big Time Rush, and Victorious. Disney, on the other hand, they had Lizzie McGuire, That's So Raven, Even Stevens, Phil of the Future, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place, Sweet Life on Deck, Sonny with a Chance, and my personal favourite, Jonas. Every show throughout this period of time was utter cinema. None of these shows were bad, other than Just Jordan. That would be the worst thing that would ever grace my eyes.
Brother, oh.
They all brought something unique to the table, and they all felt like their own thing. There were two types of shows that Nickelodeon and Disney Channel did. This can be illustrated perfectly with the Venn diagram I just whipped up. In the fantasy, supernatural, celebrity side, we found a pop star with a secret identity that had the best of both worlds, a kid that had premonitions of the future, a family of wizards just trying to live a normal life, a couple of kids that ran a very successful web show, a young fashion designer who just happens to be a vice president at a very successful fashion label, a family from the future that uses a time machine that now is stuck in the year 2004, two separate boy bands that tried to deal with their fame and would happen to sing in what felt like every single episode. Are you trying to tell me that Pizza Girl is not a banger? All these shows allowed you to escape the norm and allowed you to almost live this fantasy life as we got to see the characters work through all their unique situations. Even for the other side of this Venn diagram, with these shows that didn't really have a fantasy or celebrity flair about them, but they honestly still brought something very unique to the table. With Lizzie McGuire, they conveyed this perfectly with a cartoon version of herself. They would convey her inner thoughts and emotions. Whilst Addie from Unfabulous would decide to pick up a guitar and sing about absolutely anything that came to her mind.
New shoes.
My favourite is from Ned's Declassified. He would give off hot tips to how to survive school. Tip 608.4C, the one turn, which was preset you lock the first two numbers. So if you needed to catch the bus or get to a class earlier, you could just do the one number turn. That shattered my mind back in the day. And then the center of the diagram was the best of both worlds. Were all shows that mixed fantasy and relatability. Victorious was all about going to school. Relatable. But we all can't sing like gods about broken glass. Unrelatable. In Sweet Life, sometimes you move homes closer to where your parents work. Relatable. But not everyone moves into a 5-star hotel. Unrelatable. And with Sonny with a Chance, I'm afraid if I didn't add this show to the list, Demi Lovato would eat me. Relatable. All these shows were iconic, shaping the childhoods of an entire generation. Both networks offered a wide variety of content that reflected the changing tastes and cultural shifts of the time. Selena Gomez, Miley Cyrus, Hilary Duff, Jonas Brothers, and Keke Palmer, and tons others have become household names, creating memorable characters and incredibly catchy themes that fans would continue to cherish. Are you trying to tell me that seeing Zac Efron prancing around on a golf course in complete outrage isn't a banger? I know that kids television will never be the same. There was just something about the era of 2000s and 2010 television. Back then we tuned into our favorite shows at specific times. You won't get a creepy as hell bumper from Nickelodeon, or see Jason Earl slamming a sick flute solo as his Wand ID. You just will never see that stuff again. In essence, the early 2000s for Disney Channel and Nickelodeon was literally the best time for kids television and the best time to be growing up. No one can convince this lad otherwise.
What's that?